Okay, yeah, maybe something different I would, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Just
Looks like it's going.
this morning, I also like if there's no snow or something, I'm out.
Yeah, yeah.
Before that's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
Freezing my hands, of course, I think, but it's okay.
I did no workout today. That's when you know I'm sick, if I don't work out.
Yeah.
I was like, you shouldn't work out, you're not feeling good. Yeah, whatever.
You know, with the virus,
Aerobic.
there's nothing you can do.
No, because if you're sick and you do that, then you get worse.
Yeah, I know, I didn't today. I just slept all
And
day.
you don't feel like it.
No,
That's like
no energy.
chills.
Yeah, when you had the
That's
flu, that's
a
even
lot.
worse.
And then, so I played last night. It was great, but it's because I didn't do anything during it.
Katie,
Energy gets spent
how
so
are you?
quick.
I'm doing all right. Okay. I just got a text from Beth. You walked out the doors to try to discover you had no car. One of her kids took one and the husband took the other.
Oh my gosh, surprise, surprise.
I could see that happening
So
if
we
my
have free chair.
my kids were younger. We have a car. Have a car, so I told her that not to worry. I'll see her in 2026.
Yeah, and I'm not contagious, that's the key.
It's whatever gonna happen, and I don't. Coconut
You know when?
wax.
I'll start with yours. I'm going to call to order the East Amwell Township Joint Planning and Zoning Board meeting, December 16th, 2025. All rise with pledge.
Good evening and welcome. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, this is a regularly scheduled meeting of the East Amwell Township Joint Planning and Zoning Board pursuant to the resolution adopted on January 21st, 2025, with the meeting notice sent to the Hunterdon Democrat on January 24, 2025. A copy of the agenda for this meeting was posted on the municipal website, posted on the bulletin board, and filed in the clerk's office on December 12th, 2025. Mr. Catenacci. Here. Ms. Deadweiler.
Here.
Mr. DePiero.
Here.
Mr. Kadri.
Here.
Mr. Kohut.
Here.
Mr. Latham.
Here.
Mr. McGovern.
Here.
Mr. Nardi.
Here.
Ms. Wiggum.
Here.
Ms. Hussein is absent. Ms. Tracy.
Here.
Great.
So on your review of agenda, a couple things. One is we will take jurisdiction, if you will, I don't think that's the correct word, on the on the land use element, which was noticed, but we will plan to hear that in January. So we'll have that discussion and take that vote in January. When we get to it, we'll do it legally and properly, but I always like to say at the beginning of the agenda review changes we're going to make. And the other thing is pending on timing, we may do the completeness before we do the farmland, because I do not see Mike Davis here. I thought he was going to be here.
I think so, yeah. I haven't heard he wasn't.
Yes, so I texted him, so we need him. So we'll get everything done we can do without Mike. My guess is that Jim Kyle can pinch it if needed, but he will be here in about 10, 15 more minutes. There we go for that. Any other questions on the agenda? Any other changes? Okay. Citizens privilege to speak on items not on the agenda. May I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are open to the public for matters not on the agenda. Going once, going twice. Seeing no one, we are closed to the public. Presentation of minutes. Thank you, Katie. We're all caught up other than the one where we have a technical problem, so I appreciate that, and we'll address that one. November 18th, 2025 minutes. Everyone had a chance to look at them?
I wasn't here.
You weren't here, that's right. Anyone else? May I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
we take the roll. I'm not going to try to remember which one's roll anymore. Sharon says we can just always,
Mr. Catinacci?
she looks at me.
Ms. Deadweiler?
Yes, should have given you a heads up.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Kadri?
Yes.
Mr. Kohut?
Yes.
Mr. Latham?
Yes.
Mr. McGovern?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi was absent. Ms. Wiggum?
Yes.
And Ms. Teresi?
Yes.
And we have no resolutions. Invoices, we'll do the same. Does everyone have a chance to look at them, even the late ones? That's good. Any questions? May I have a motion on these? Okay.
Second.
Okay, we take the roll, please, because it's money.
Yes. Mr. Catinacci?
Yes.
Ms. Deadweiler?
Yes.
Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
Mr. Kadri?
Yes.
Mr. Kohut?
Yes.
Mr. Latham?
Yes.
Mr. McGovern?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Ms. Wiggum?
Yes.
And Ms. Teresi?
Yes.
We'll move the master plan element, we're moving.
Ms. Deadweiler? Sorry, Mr. DePiero?
Yes.
That's okay.
Good confirmation.
Right?
We will go to, oh, we can't do the complete list because we have people from.
Completeness is planning board.
It's planning board, okay, my bad, okay. We will start with the completeness hearing discussion for energy and greenhouse solar quote. We have someone from the, welcome.
Thank you.
So everyone has the application.
Yes.
Our intention here is primarily to hear from Mr. O'Brien on any issues, any recommendations, looking that we are waiting, and we can have a short discussion. I'm happy to have you speak a little bit, but we will.
Sure. No,
we don't
I,
give it till the next time.
I am, as an attorney, I'm fully familiar to speaking as little as possible. Nobody wants to hear me. So, Madam Chair, members of the board, thank you for having me. For the record, my name is Michael Vidiello. I'm here representing the applicant. We also have our civil engineer here tonight also to answer any questions, but we will just, we're just standing by if you have any questions.
O'Brien.
Okay, for completeness, I'm recommending the board grant temporary waivers for the following checklist items: A28, A35, P2, P27, P28, P29, P43, P44, P45, P52, C6, and C7. So those would be the temporary, just waived for completeness only, but they will have to be provided and dealt with during the hearing, prior to the hearing, whichever makes, whatever the information is that we're looking for on those checklist items.
Now, I actually read that, but I don't know all those checklist item numbers. My one question to you is, I'm trying to get back to it, are there some that particularly you would like to have before the hearing? Like, you know, some things take longer, some things you might make a condition. I just want to make sure we're, when we do have the hearing, there's things that will be particularly relevant. I remember.
I don't think we need it before the hearing.
Okay.
Just, it'll be discussed during the hearing and,
Okay.
you know, how important it is to the board on these items.
Okay. Yeah, I think for me, I wanted to make sure that we address any conversation about if there were trees, where they're, how close they are, if they're going to be removed, where the screening is, where the setback is, things
We
of
will,
that nature.
we'll make sure we could certainly discuss that in a lot of detail at the hearing, so
Okay.
you would definitely have that information.
Right, so those are the temporary, and then full waivers they're requesting, I recommend be granted are for P8.
Can you read those out?
Yeah, one more time.
Want me to go back to the other ones?
No,
Yes.
just these. Oh, you do?
Yeah, please, yeah. You
Alright.
went- You're going a little too quick.
My bad.
A28 is stormwater management
Yes.
requirement, so that's something they're requesting a waiver on, that can
Yeah.
be. A35 is submission to the Hunter County Soil Conservation District, so that's something that has to be done as a condition of approval.
Okay,
P2 is signatures of the owner and applicant on the plan. That's something that can be done again, condition. P27 is the trees 6 inches or larger.
okay.
We can talk about that more during the hearing. P28, trees to be removed. That can be more information provided during. P29, existing natural features, rock outcrops, that sort of thing. That's something that they can discuss more. P43 is moderate and steep slopes, so that can be testimony and discussed. P44 is grading plan, so they would give us testimony on why they feel a grading plan, typical grading plan with proposed and existing contours is not required. That's something that can be discussed during the hearing. P45, grading 100 feet beyond the proposed development. That's something that we can discuss further. P52 through P56 is proposed landscaping and lighting. Not proposing any now, but as this is reviewed by the board, gives the board the option to require that as a condition.
And that's one thing I want to see at the hearing. I don't want, it's fine to waive it for completeness, but I would want to.
For landscaping and lighting, what they're
All of that,
proposing?
Yeah, I think all of that, we can waive it for completeness, but I do think we'll be looking for a fully built-out plan. if you will.
Okay, that's not something they were proposing now, so that's something they'll
okay.
have to put together
Okay,
as a matter of an exhibit at the meeting or prior to the meeting. You want it prior to, so.
I'm just.
We'd have to get them scheduled, and that would have to be in 10 days before the hearing? Or what's our normal?
Yes,
Okay, so if that's,
Exhibit.
put the applicant on notice that they'll have to get that landscaping, lighting plan into the board 10 days prior.
Yep.
Okay.
And Al, thanks for slowing us down.
Yep, no worries.
Always,
I was going-
anyone can do that, please.
Yeah.
And then C6 is a
Slowing
valid
us down.
valid DEP LOI or wetland permit. Now, they've given us a letter that they don't feel, their expert feels nothing has changed, so that can be a condition of approval as well, once they get into the application. And C7 is approvals from the Hunter County Planning Board, Hunter County Soil Conservation. So again, those are items that we can discuss during the hearing and make conditions, if that were be the case.
And for the LOI, there was, as you said, just for the record, for anyone who didn't read all the back and forth, there was a report from a professional, right?
There was an LOI on the property, but that's expired.
Yeah.
I forget. Do you remember?
Yeah,
2016,
I think the last time it was valid was 2016.
I think.
So Mike Francis is a wetland scientist that I've worked with. He said he took the LOI into the field,
Yeah.
went out and verified that nothing has changed
Okay.
in any substantial way. He also believes that the buffer will not change from 50 feet.
Okay.
So that'll be discussed, and that can be condition of approval. They get an actual LOI
Yep.
at some point. Okay. Full waivers, P8, which is the resource calculations.
So if their professional has done a field verification and is certifying, is he providing a certification to that effect?
He signed the letter. So he wrote
The
a
original
letter.
LOI or something subsequent?
Well, I'm sorry.
The document you're saying he signed, was that the original LOI request?
No.
7 years ago?
He wrote a letter and said, I've been in the field with the LOI. I verified that nothing has substantially changed with the boundaries, nor is the buffer going to change from 50.
So that's a recent letter.
And we're getting a new
submitted.
LOI.
Right.
We're getting a new one. We
Right,
just
they need
wanted.
to get us, they need
Before
to,
the application?
It depends on the DEP, they
Well,
kind of
that's what
do
I'm
it
saying.
whenever, yeah, so our scientist has already looked at the line and said, this is what I would submit for a brand-new LOI, I think that's reasonable that it's right here. The DEP, as always, will approve it when they approve it.
9 months to a year.
Yeah.
That's how long an LOI takes these days,
Well, I mean,
if not more.
yeah, I think more like 15, but.
Yeah, and if we hadn't heard already from a wetland specialist, I would say let's wait at least to hear from a wetland specialist, but isn't it, the DEP typically sends out a wetland specialist, correct?
It depends.
They verify the line.
Yeah. So, yeah, we will require an LOI, but I'm thinking we can take it from the completeness.
Well, and really for completeness, I was just inquiring whether the packet will include, I guess it's a letter from this professional.
Correct.
Right, he submitted a written
He did
letter
submit, okay.
verifying
I
that
think-
the line.
I think it was posted online.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so
Or actually, I can't say for sure, because I saw it in my email. But
yeah,
Okay, thank you very much.
I'll print it out for you. I just can't get to it right now.
Okay. So were there more we wanted to?
I think you're in the middle of the list.
Okay.
I asked a question in the middle, sorry.
Oh, P.
All right, this is the full waivers for P8 resource calculations. It's not, pretty much not applicable. This would be for subdivision, et cetera. P30, Greenway and open space land, again, not applicable to this. P62 is architectural plans. P63, freestanding sign details, they're not proposing any signage. P64, directional signs, again, none proposed. P67, soil logs perk tests, none proposed, none needed. C2 is soil logs, again, not proposed. And C5 is a water quality management plan, which is not part of this, not applicable, not relevant to this. So, those are the temporary and full waivers I would recommend.
And
For
you're
completeness.
comfortable with all those?
Correct.
Questions from the board on this? Any concerns about giving the waiver for completeness?
What was 66 again?
66,
Was it, you said-
P67 was soil logs,
What was right before that?
P64,
Four.
directional signs, none proposed. Thank you.
I'm not sure that this is a really a related question, but in the project application, it mentions that there will be a power purchase agreement with the local school. Are there any more details that you can offer on that? Like what the school will be afforded in terms of the savings?
Is that the hearing, do we want to put that in hearing, or do you want to hear about that just for completeness?
Well, you know what? I could save you the suspense because unfortunately I don't have more information on that right now. Actually, two of my partners in my office, they were literally standing outside my office talking about the power purchase agreement. No details, so I really don't have detail for that, but we can get you more detail on that for the hearing, certainly.
Okay, that'd be great.
I personally, at my office, wouldn't be the person working on the power purchase agreement, and I think actually the developer, the applicant, goes to a third party. I guess you could almost think of them as a middleman. They're really the, quote, the solar entity, and they're the ones that step in and really do that with the end user. So it really, there's a middle entity that does that, not really even the developer.
So you want to hear about that? Anything else?
And again, this might be better than next, but it's a pilot project.
Yes,
So how
a
long,
community solar pilot, like a,
how long will that last, and what will happen when it's done?
you're talking about the exemption, or for the pilot?
Yeah,
For full build-out, you're talking about? How long until it gets fully built out?
no, how long does the pilot project last?
I don't have the details on what the pilot terms would be, but again, we can get that information to the extent we even have it by the time the hearing comes around, we could get that information. That's something that would vary between project to project, and again, it's similar to the power purchase agreement. I really don't have that. It's sort of a separate part of the process, but I could certainly make sure you have that info.
Anything else?
Just want to remind you that I recuse myself.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. I have a motion to find this complete subject to the temporary waivers and the permanent waivers as suggested by Mr. O'Brien. Couldn't think of the word for a second.
So moved.
Second. Take the roll.
Mr. Catanacci's recused. Ms. Detwiler?
Yes, sorry.
Mr. DePiero?
I'm looking at this.
Yes.
Mr. Quadri?
Yes.
Mr. Cohat?
Yes.
Mr. Latham?
Yes.
Mr. McGovern?
Yes.
Mr. Nardi?
Yes.
Mr. Ms. Wigman?
Yes.
And Mr. Easy?
Yes.
So that motion is adopted.
Thank you for your time.
We will see a couple months, probably February at the earliest.
Okay, so I guess you'll talk about after you reorganize in the new year, that's when you talk about scheduling these
Yeah,
matters?
yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you so much. Mr. Kyle, I do not see Mike Davis here.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. He's told me he was, because I actually said to him, I said, hey, look, if you don't want to come all the way over here, I'm happy to do the hearing. And he said, no, I'll be there.
Yeah.
So I didn't even review it, to be on, so.
Okay, then that kind of tables that one. I was hoping he would review it, I was hoping we could adopt it, but if you haven't reviewed it,
I wasn't aware that
No,
I was under
I-
the impression he was going to be here.
yeah, I was too, I texted him too.
I haven't
didn't
heard
hear-
anything.
It's very much unlike him too.
Right. Well, hopefully everything's okay.
I mean, we can adjourn for a minute and I can call him. We're gonna need to, why don't we just,
Well, I don't think Mr. Collins reviewed it either yet.
what's that?
I don't think Mr.
No, we
Collins.
can't, no, we would need Mr. Davis. It's either Mr. Davis or,
Table it.
or table it. So, and I guess we don't have him here. So we will table these. I would, since they've both been noticed though, I'd like to set the next date.
Okay, well, then the next meeting then, right?
Yes, which we know to be the, when is the, oh, we have it here. January 20th, yeah. So we will have both hearings on January 20th. With no new notice, unless, yeah, with no new notice. Okay.
So do you want to make the official announcement, Sharon, or is that good?
I think that was pretty good.
Okay, good.
Actually,
That's what I'm trying to make sure.
Continued it, she's the chair. She
Perfect.
continued it to
This is me.
January 20th, 2026.
I'd like to make a motion to recognize how well done that was.
Okay, where are we now? Okay, we will go back to oral reports, and then we will come back and do the applications, because after we do the oral reports, then Mr. Nardi
Yep.
and Ms. DePiero will be leading us. So I will, so oral reports, Gringos Advisory Committee. Okay. Farmland, open space,
Just the farmland preservation plan.
yeah, which we will cover next month, unfortunately. One thing I did want to mention on there is I went through the list of properties, and I do believe that a couple of those properties are on the market as we speak. I don't know what that means, but I just want to make sure that you're aware of that. Environmental Commission, it's nothing. And historic agriculture, nothing?
It's also a farmland preservation plan.
Yeah, okay. And historic preservation, I think we adopted last month. Anything new? Okay, this is quick. For me, I will just, or planning board secretary, nothing, okay. And for me, I'll just say, it's our last meeting of the year. It's been a productive year. Anticipate a productive year next year as well. And if I don't see you, to the meeting, Happy New Year. Happy holidays. And
Happy New Year.
we'll adjourn for just a few seconds.
Take us out.
To remember this time.
Oh, Kathy, sorry.
Good old room we have now.
Thank you, guys.
Happy holidays,
Thank you.
everyone.
Good holidays, guys. Be safe.
Holidays.
Yep.
Stay healthy.
Yes, you too. You good? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mattis?
Before you start, I'll just say that we've reviewed the notice, affidavits, and everything's in order so that the board has jurisdiction.
Thank you. And then the other thing I would like to find out is how many witnesses you have, and let's get them all sworn in. So you, how many,
I have Tom, my planner, I have Eric, my engineer, Mr. and Mrs. Zimmerman.
okay.
Those are the witnesses.
All right, if you all want to just stand up and raise your right hands, anyone who's going to be
You
testifying.
want us to, or?
Everyone, yes. All right, do you all swear that the testimony that you're about to give before this board is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, sworn in.
They wouldn't notice you said y'all.
Did I say that? I don't know, I'm not even from the South.
I'm like, oh, okay. He's got Mr. Olden's.
Good evening, members of the board. I appreciate you hearing me tonight. I know from the completion hearing, you wanted me to keep these things simple, and I guess, majority of you have heard, the previous application before the planning board. You had kind of recommended you wanted me to go through surveys, and I could do that tonight if that's the way that you would still want this to be presented for everybody that hasn't heard this previously.
I think give us a short synopsis of what your proposal is.
Okay.
And then if the history comes in, we'll do that as it comes about, a lot, if that-
So do you want me to start with the history, or just...
I don't want to tell you how to do it. but
No, I'm just,
I just think we should start with the history.
Okay.
Start with the short synopsis, my bad.
Okay. So the Zimmermans, back in 2005, 2006, they had entered into an agreement which I have provided as Exhibit C, and it was the actual contract to purchase property for the Hunterdon County, South County Park. In this agreement, they entered with Hunterdon County to sell. At the end, it turned out to be 47 acres. Along with that, they negotiated having 2 building lots with the sale of this property. One of the properties, one of the undersized lots has been built upon, and then the second lot was never perfected. So when I went back with the...
Can I pause you 1 second?
Yeah.
So you're here today
Yes.
to talk about the
So-
one lot.
So I'm here today to ask for a minor subdivision with a
a
D2 and a D5 variance for the second lot that was
Wanna make sure.
part of this previous agreement.
Yeah.
So when we were going back through and I had presented everything before the planning board, we had a resolution that said that a future planning board would see this application through. And it turned out that basically too much time has passed. There wasn't enough clarification, and that's why I'm here tonight asking for the D2 and the D5 variance. I could show you a couple of the maps from where we're at today and from where this started from.
Any maps that you're going to present, we should mark as exhibits.
All these maps were presented with the application.
There's a larger blow-up or something.
Yeah,
This is a
just
larger
so-
blow-up. So
yeah,
let's
so
just
this
call
was
it, it looks like it maybe
Yeah,
had been
attachment
mentioned
4. This was
before, but
attachment
for
4.
tonight, like the public hasn't seen it, so we're
Okay.
going to call it Exhibit A1,
Okay.
all right?
Greg, just go ahead and write it on there.
Yeah, just-
A1.
With today's date.
I'm going to write that it was attachment 4 and of the application, and you just tell me, tell us the record or secretary what the name of this map is.
Okay, so it's A1.
Yeah.
So basically, this map here was the parcel prior to Hunterdon County taking or purchasing the property from the Zimmermans. So we're looking at a map before 2006. So this was the overall plus or minus 70 acres of land that the Zimmermans owned. So, long story short was the South County Park, when they developed it for the Hunterdon County Fair, they kind of overdeveloped their impervious, and they also wanted to build large bathrooms for the property. So with this, they basically sought to get the property, the adjoining property with the Zimmermans here, and basically they really, at the time, weren't looking to sell.
The Zimmermans.
Yes. So, through all the negotiations, it worked out that they were willing to enter this contract and sell the, basically where it says proposed taking area, that's the back portion of the property. So they sold the 47 acres, and in exchange for that sale, they were supposed to also get 2 undersized building lots. So that's a little bit of the back history. I have other maps, and then this one is the map, if you want to do A2 on this one. lot-size building lots.
You're on YouTube.
Wrong button.
So this is the condition of the property as it exists today. This is the just under 13-acre portion. This was the 2.5 acres, which was the first subdivision of the two that was supposed to happen with this deal. And on today's tax map, it still shows the common driveway that is still on the map. And then basically, at this point, we're here tonight to ask further relief for the board for the D2 and the D5 variance to get the second subdivision.
Can I just ask, I can't really read that, but is it the conditions as of what?
October 2007.
2007, okay.
Yeah.
And so what you're saying is that that's how it looked in October 2007, and it still looks like that's...
That's how it looks today, yeah. So I'm just trying to bring you up to where we're at today before we get into the application.
Thanks.
Okay. So that's kind of the back history of everything that's transpired to get to where we're at today. And then this is page 4 off of our subdivisions plans. And this shows the two...
We're going to call it A3.
Okay. Okay.
Page 4.
Just for the record, sorry to do all this, but can you just say when the latest revision date is of your subdivision map?
So the latest revision is 9/28/25.
9/28/25?
Correct. So this is the overall site design of the subdivision I'm proposing for the second lot that was agreed upon with the original contract. So basically, it's going to be 2 lots. One lot is just over 11 acres, and then the other lot is 1.6 acres. So with that being said, we're looking to, we don't make the density requirement under the open lands ordinance. So back in November's meeting, it was kind of determined that instead of continuing on with lot size averaging, which how this original contract was based upon, that an open lands ordinance was the proper way to go about it. And that's where we're at tonight, proposing to do the 11 and then 1.6, and then ask for the D5 for the density on these properties. On the current property right now, which is the 12.5 acres, there is a legally 2-family house. I have the Zimmermans here who will testify that it's been a legal 2-family prior to the zoning ordinance. Can I call them up to testify?
Is it now, or I'm wondering whether he needs it here, sort of what the goals are, what was expected?
Sure. From the
From our plan,
standards.
from the planner, yeah, I think before they testify, I think, so we know what we're listening for,
Okay,
maybe from your planner.
okay. Tom, would you?
Oh, okay.
Or
Your planner,
you
that
want
would be
your
great,
planner
because
or
it's
our
really
planner?
It's your application, so.
Okay, well, then you can
Great.
have,
Well, typically I would go last.
okay, that's
Go
fine.
First.
Well, if they want to listen to their plan, that's fine.
Well, you either can tell us that you can either have your engineer come up and describe all the, points of the subdivision, or you can talk about the variances, either way you want to do it.
Okay.
So, sounds like you wanted to start with the variances, so planning testimony then, right?
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think Eric should go first.
Okay, then we'll have-
Because he supports what I'm going to say.
Okay, then we'll have Eric.
And you need Mrs. Zimmerman to also testify about that the building is
yeah,
a two-family.
two-family.
Maybe she should come up next, then
Okay.
Eric, and then me,
Okay.
is my suggestion.
Okay.
So before we hear from Mrs. Zimmerman, I would like to hear what the standard is that we're looking for her to tell us about. That's
Okay.
what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the planning standard.
So the board, in order to establish that it's a legally existing non-conforming use, we can do that in a variety of ways. Live testimony from someone who has firsthand knowledge is typically fine. So Mrs. Zimmerman, I assume, is going to testify that she's lived there a long time and that the building was a two-family predating our first zoning ordinance in 72? Because there was a land management ordinance that was written very early on.
Yeah.
We didn't actually have a zoning ordinance, I think, until, let me look while she's,
Land use law was adopted in 75, right?
Okay, so, okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for testimony of that. If that would be sufficient?
yeah, if you find the testimony credible, and I'm sure you will, you're just trying to establish that it predated the zoning ordinance. If it did, then it's a legal existing non-conforming use, and then they need a D2 variance in order to effectuate the subdivision.
So let's hear from Mrs. Zimmerman.
Come up there?
Yep.
Yes, I have it. Getting all. Thank you. And
You tell us your full name.
Norma Case Zimmerman. And, okay, I was born in 1952, and I have lived in that house my whole life.
Okay,
And it has always been a two-family home.
okay.
Always family, well, not always family, but it's always been a two-family home.
And it remains a two-family?
And still is today.
As long as you remember.
Someday, no, I do remember all the years.
Any questions from the board?
That it?
Sorry, so just for everybody's future reference,
Yes.
1963.
Okay.
We had,
You said she went back further back than that, so we're good.
oh, no, we're good. But this always comes up, right? When was the first, so we had a land management ordinance, but it didn't include zoning standards. That was in 59. Yeah. But then the zoning ordinance came in 63, so.
Eric, can you spell your last name for us?
Sure. R-U-P-N-A-R-A-I-N.
Thank you.
Everybody
welcome.
always mispronounces Eric's name.
Except for Jim.
It's actually
Make it
very
really
funny.
easy. I was going to make it easy on myself. And for the benefit of the board, could you please refresh us with your credentials?
Certainly. I'm a licensed professional engineer in the states of New Jersey and Pennsylvania. License are current in both states. I have a bachelor's degree from Villanova University. I graduated in 1997 with a bachelor's and in 2001 with a master's from the same. Since graduating, I've been practicing civil engineering land development throughout New Jersey. I've been in front of this board numerous times for various applicants representing different companies.
Second is a
Thank you.
expert.
So what the applicant has mounted
on the exhibit in front of the board, this is the proposed subdivision layout. The property is located on the westerly side of Route 202. In the lower right-hand corner of the property, that smaller lot that's identified as Lot A on the subdivision plat, that's the property that contains the existing two-family dwelling. And the proposed lot area for that parcel is about 1.6 acres. The remaining acreage, or the larger lot, Lot B, that's going to be approximately 11.6 acres, which totals 12.6 acres, which is the total track area. Within the proposed lot, Lot B, the applicant is proposing construction of a new residential dwelling, septic system. There is an existing well right now that's on the parent track, the overall parcel. That well will provide access or water service to the new dwelling. The applicant is proposing to construct or install a new well on proposed Lot A, and that well will only be used to serve the existing two-family dwelling. Lot A currently has an existing septic system. The applicant is required and will construct a new septic system for the new residential dwelling on Lot B. We have a couple of letters, one from the township planner, Mr. Kyle, and also a letter from Mr. O'Brien, the township engineer. And I have had an opportunity to review both of those letters, and specifically in Mr. Kyle's letter, with regards to the open lands subdivision, all of the conditions that Mr. Kyle has, that Jim has listed on sheet number 3 of his letter. Item number 1, 75% of the track designated as open lands. The applicant will be compliant with that requirement. Within the open lands subdivision, the area that's considered open is what's permitted to be used for agricultural purposes. Essentially, anything that's not going to be used as the residential dwelling will count towards the open land. What we anticipate for the new proposed dwelling, about 1.5 acres of the proposed 11 acres of Lot B is what will remain as part of the open land subdivision. The 1.6 acre will be used for the residential dwelling, the septic system, and any other residential amenities. What that essentially yields is about 75.5% of the track area that will remain as open lands. So the applicant is compliant with that requirement. The second item, which requires 65% of the open lands to be unconstrained, in accordance with the ordinance, the unconstrained area is defined as wetlands, floodplains, and slopes greater than 12%. On this particular property within proposed Lot B, we don't have any wetlands as per the NJDEP database. There are no floodplains on the property. And in regards to steep slope areas, we do not have any area on this property that's greater than 12%. The ordinance requires the steep slopes to be calculated using 10-foot intervals. Utilizing the topographic data that the applicants have provided to the board, we don't have any area on the property that's greater than 12%. Therefore, we're compliant with that specific requirement. And then the remainder of the open lands requirement, the lot has to be at least 1.5 acre. The applicant's proposing 11 acres. Minimum open lands lot needs to be at least 10 acres. Again, we're 11 acre for proposed Lot B. In accordance with the ordinance, the residential density, as we've previously indicated, the applicant will be seeking a D variance for the density requirement, and our planner, Mr. Stern, will provide additional testimony to the board regarding that. Also, in regards to the lot suitability, the ordinance in regards to lot suitability essentially defines a minimum area of the property that has to be at least 22,500 square feet in area. The area has to be at least 100 feet wide along the shortest dimension, and within that area, it has to be free of any wetlands transition areas or slopes greater than 12%. Again, this particular property, almost the entire open lands area is going to be free of all of those constraints. So the applicant will meet the requirements of item number 6. And item number 7, the tract is not greater than 100 acres. The tract is, it's less than 100 acres. and we're compliant there. And again, all lots created for item number 8 that's created under the open land subdivision will be deed restricted. The applicant will agree, if the board finds favorably on the application, to deed restrict the lot. And then finally, the last 2 items that we have regarding the open land subdivision, the applicant will be compliant. The design of the development utilizing this option retains large contiguous farmland. The applicant has essentially done the best that we can in subdividing this property. The proposed 2-family dwelling will be on a 1.6 acre lot, which is slightly greater than the 1.5 acre that's required. And then the remainder of the property, the open lands lot, will be retained into farmland production. So the applicant is compliant there. And then finally, the exception area, which will be the area to be occupied by the residential dwelling, septic system, and any amenities cannot exceed 2 acres. We anticipate that the exception area is going to be about 1.5 acre, which allows the applicant to become compliant with that particular item. The remainder of Mr. Kyle's letter, the applicant has no objections to and will provide on future plan revisions that's submitted to the town's professionals for review all of the other items and comments that Mr. Kyle has. And then finally, with regards to the township engineer's letter with Mr. O'Brien, there are a couple of comments, some of which I've already addressed, primarily the open lands requirement, where 75% of the tract has to be designated as open lands. The applicant, again, is going to provide about 75.5%, which will be designated as open land, and additional calculations will be provided on the revised plans to document that requirement and compliance. And then also in regards to the 65% of the property that has to remain unconstrained, the applicant will provide on future plan revisions all of the necessary calculations to document that we're compliant with that requirement. And I believe those were the comments that essentially defines the applicant's proposal in front of the board tonight.
Eric, could I just ask you to detail the impervious coverage reduction that you guys are proposing? Was that in, I thought you guys were exempt from DRCC, or are you exempt because you're removing?
We're exempt because we're actually showing a reduction.
Okay.
Correct.
So we're below net zero.
Okay, got it. If you could just go through that really quick, just so the board understands.
This will be A4.
Looks like it's a colored rendering there.
Do you want me to go through it?
Yeah, if you...
And which page is that from your?
6. So it's page 6.
6 is that subsequent.
Yes.
It's fairly straightforward. We're taking out the brown and the green is what's proposed.
This is what's green is, what's going to remain.
This is what
all
we're taking.
removing. This is all supposed to be brown.
Yeah.
This building goes, this building goes, this building moves forward onto existing gravel. This concrete goes away.
Yeah, so essentially the brown is what's being removed, the green is what's going to remain.
Everybody ready?
I think so. You got the paper. I like the colors.
I think it makes it a lot easier to understand what the applicant is proposing. And what this particular plan shows is the applicant's proposal. On proposed Lot B, which is the new lot that we're creating, the area that's shown in green, that is the impervious coverage that's going to remain. That includes the proposed building and the driveway and the existing barn and the accessory structures on Lot B. The area that's shown in that brownish tan color, that's what the applicant is proposing to remove. And by removal of the concrete pads and a portion of one of the building, a shed,
The shed, this building, this was, for some reason, didn't print. Around the silo, that didn't print in
Okay,
beige.
maybe go up to the map then and just show us.
Yeah, for some reason, this didn't print, but this is all concrete too, that's gonna get removed. This barn in the back is actually we're gonna move this barn forward, so we actually meet the setback.
Is that the historical barn?
No, that's the one in the center here, that's the 7,000 square foot. That's the big barn in the middle. So there's a small barn in the back that's gonna be relocated onto existing gravel, so that's gonna free up impervious back here. There's a large concrete pad here from a previous barn that had fallen down, so all that concrete will be removed. And then, like I said, all around the silo and everything like that, and in front. And then there's also one other shed that will be removed here to meet the setbacks. And then, yeah, this was all color-coded for the DNR canal, so they could follow everything. And then, you have it right there, the actual,
yeah,
so the actual, we're actually gonna be removing a total of,
it's 24,330 square feet.
that's gonna be removed.
That's a lot. That's a half acre of impervious cover.
320?
24,330.
Does that include area 12, the pad, I guess, that's coming
Yes,
out?
Yeah, that didn't get hatched in.
I think you hatched it, okay.
Because like I said, we're going through that way for water and electric, so it's gonna be removed.
Mr. Mattis, do you anticipate, and I'm not trying to hold you to this or anything, but if we see where number 11 is, and then right below that it says concrete pad foundation to be removed, do you anticipate the grass and cultivated field to maybe going to extending to where that is now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm hoping to open up as much as possible, which is why I'm okay with moving that barn forward onto it, because I'd like to have a spot for, like barn 9 here is a barn that needs to be rebuilt. We'd like to have goats in one of those barns, and then also barn 8 as well. Like I said, if we move it forward, then we have a little bit more of a pasture area in the back. So whatever we can do to open up area, this is what's being proposed right now. Most likely, there will be more, things opened up in the future.
Mr. Mattis, the area to the right of the barn, the big old barn,
Yes.
how do you access that? Looks like there's sort of, everything's blocked. And I assume you're gonna farm, what are you gonna put back in that area to the right of in the back there?
Which,
To the right of the big barn?
in here,
Yeah.
this here, we're thinking about possibly doing Christmas trees on that side.
Uh-huh.
And then, like I said, this area, so I guess we'll make this one A5, just so we can clear it up for you.
And what's that?
This is page 2. These are existing conditions and demo plan. So for clarification, this was the original.
Give it a second for all the papers to move.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can hear you a little easier.
So this was the original reception area for where the house is going to go. But what we're going to end up having to do to make this continuous, because the driveway goes here, we're going to have to slide this forward. So there will be a path all the way around where the house is going to be. So the idea is to be able to have, the animals come this way to this section, farm the front, and then, like I said, have Christmas trees on that side.
And the animals are, that you're thinking of now
We're
are
thinking about
goats?
having goats. There's an old, this one here is an old chicken coop. Probably gonna do chickens there too. Go, you know,
You got good fences?
I had chickens when I was a kid, so yeah.
And for the goats.
Yeah.
They're a pain to keep in.
That's kind of the idea of what we have and how it's laying out.
And I have another question.
Yes.
What's around all that? There's still, South County Parks never developed the back of that, right?
So South County Park's back here, which was purchased with Green Acres money, which can't be developed at all.
Okay,
So
so
that's
that will
completely
stay like
open.
pasture, open,
The farm to the left is preserved,
okay?
and then South County still kind of wraps around this side,
All right.
which was the original fairgrounds on this side right here.
Yeah, so it's preserved farmland, preserved open space,
And
county
then
park.
the county park, yes.
Thanks.
Mr. Mattis, if I could just ask you, what are your plans for the larger barn? I thought there was some contemplation it would be renovated,
So
restored.
we're hoping to bring it back, save the barn. You know, there's not a single nail in that barn. It's all pins and hand-hewed beams and
Oh, wow.
everything like that.
Okay.
So, as I said last time, there's no intention of barn weddings or anything like that. It's just gonna be, you know, probably for storage of farm equipment, things like that. You know, it would be a shame to lose that barn.
Sure.
So like I said, it's gonna be an undertaking to, you know, close it back in and save it and everything like that, but that's the intention.
Okay.
Is the barn fairly stable as it is, or?
Yeah, no, it's stable, it's just, you know, there's old, you know, I guess, when they had the metal roof, they had big skylights, those are all kind of coming in, you know, the siding needs to be redone. I mean, it's trying to develop a house and also save a barn, but, you know, it's got good bones. I mean, it's not in any way, shape, or form falling down. It's probably one of the better ones out of all of them.
So when you're done, you'll have the house you build, I'm gonna call it historic barn, and then what other and the silo will remain,
The silo's gonna remain.
and what else? Just for my,
So the two barns in the back and then the one off to the right.
okay, okay. How does that does it affect your open lands calculation? I wanna make sure we get this right.
So all of the buildings that Mr. Mattich just referenced will be part of the agricultural production of the property?
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Because I think that was something that's listed under the ordinance.
Yeah, so it says, the primary and reserve septic disposal fields and any other buildings or structures not used for agricultural purposes has to be within the exception area.
Thank you.
So I think the representation is that everything but the house is going to be used for agriculture.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. That's where I was getting at. I just
Yep.
want to make sure we get it right. Questions?
I'm confused. This application, what is different about this application that we have not heard?
The previous application, the concern was that because they were going to use lot size averaging, that it would set a precedent that could be harmful. This is just asking for a variance that the board has the flexibility to grant.
Am I correct that he's asking us to allow building of, in a 10-acre zone, a new house on a 1.5-acre parcel?
Under the open lands provisions, which allows a larger piece and a smaller piece. It's different. It's another option that you have if you're saving some agricultural land. So he's making a case here that he's going to be using the remainder of the lands for agricultural purposes. And so the ordinance does allow that provision. Now, there's a density requirement that now they're asking for a variance for. There's two variances that you didn't hear about before at the last time. One was the D2, which is the expansion of, the previously existing home, that was a two-family. Never heard about that before. And then we have the density variance.
And we're not actually expanding it, it's just going to be in a smaller lot. We're not saying he's going to make the building bigger.
The reason it's expanded is because if you divide a piece of property that a two-family was on, now you're making it smaller, it's considered an expansion of a non-conforming.
One of the little quirks of New Jersey land use law, Raspberries v. Kingwood.
Based on the case.
Is there yet another house to be built on this property?
Well, they're going to divide this piece into two, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
There'll be one other house.
On the 1.5 acre?
No.
On the 11 acre.
They're carving off the 1.5, creating an 11-acre new lot, and they're putting one house on that.
And they'll deed restrict that lot for agricultural purposes, and then within the lot, that 11-acre lot, will have an exception area of 1.5 acres, and then within that, that's where the house can be, under the...
And it will still maintain 75% agricultural.
So the only variance we need is the density.
Related to open lands, yeah.
Correct, okay.
All the other requirements are met.
Which I was glad to hear. I was afraid they weren't going to be met.
Nope.
So, that's good.
Any other questions for? Can't say your last name.
Don't worry about it.
I'm going to learn, I promise.
Jim will pronounce it.
Root-Narain.
Root-Narain.
Root-Narain. R-A-I-N is the last four letters.
Yeah, I'm looking for a
Root-Narain.
vowel between the two. Any other questions? Any questions from the board?
I have a question on my report
Go
for
ahead.
Eric. The monumentation, you're okay with that on page 3?
Yes.
That has to be property corners, et cetera, that's required. Stormwater management has to be addressed. And then the DOT for the highway access permit, have you looked into whether you need a new permit for that, or?
So I looked at the original DOT permit, and based on the way the permit and the daily traffic and the peak hour traffic, we're not violating both. So I believe the existing permit covers not only the current house that accesses the highway, but also the addition of the second dwelling will be covered by the permit. But if the board so desires, we can certainly apply to NJDOT for a letter of no interest. In essence, approving the additional dwelling on the existing driveway.
Would you recommend that?
That might make sense, yeah, I think I would recommend at least get DOT's input on it,
Okay,
because they do have a permit for that.
okay.
You might actually have to go to the DOT for the subdivision approval as well.
Right, on the highway.
Because-
Actually, I think, yeah,
Yeah.
Jim is correct, we do have to.
Having a state
So you
highway
have to
for
go there anyway.
subdivided.
Yep.
to the DOT.
You can ask for extras while you're there.
Correct.
Right.
Anything
That's
else?
all I had.
That's all you.
Thank you.
Actually, you jogged my memory. Did I see dry wells behind the new structure?
We do have dry wells behind the new structures to satisfy the township's ordinance regarding stormwater control for minor projects. So that's one of the comments that Mr. O'Brien has in his letter, that we don't meet the requirements for a major stormwater project, but we do have to address the minor stormwater provisions in the ordinance, which the applicant fully intends to comply with.
Anything else on the board? How many more witnesses do you have, Mr. Myers?
One.
Okay, then we will hear from him, and then we will open to the public for questions, all three witnesses at the same time, unless the board would object. Yes. Will you state your name for the record, and who you represent?
Yeah, Tom Stearns, I'm a professional planner. I'm a licensed professional planner. My license is current and valid. I've been practicing over 35 years. I've testified before numerous planning and zoning boards all through the state of New Jersey. I haven't testified before this board before, but I've testified before a lot of boards here in Hunterdon County, Stockton Borough, Holland Township, Delaware Township, Lambertville, Frenchtown, Flemington, Branchburg.
They're good company. For some of them. Well said.
Thank you. Okay, so I've reviewed a lot of the information on the site. I've visited the site. I've reviewed the zone ordinance, the zone map. I've gone through all the professional memos. I've reviewed all the various master plans. I've looked at Jim Kyle's memo. I think he's done a really good job of summarizing the points of fact. Again, he's correct that special reasons need to be shown, and I think the previous testimony establishes the special reasons and proves that the use variance, the two variances can be granted. Craig's giving you a good overview of the project. Eric's hit on some of the engineering points. I'm going to focus on the necessary proofs. And I just wanted to hit a few quick things real quick. Craig's going to, Jim mentioned in his memo, Craig's going to clean up the property. In fact, he's already started to clean it up previously. And there's old cars and things there that need to be removed. And again, he's deed restricting that all that land around the house, which is roughly 9.5 acres, I think. And he's leaving will be on a kind of a net lot of like 1.57. And again, the Zimmermans are going to continue to live in the existing house on the proposed Lot A of 1.6 acres. Again, they're retired. They have no interest in farming anymore. Again, it's a current two-family dwelling on the property. It's a legally existing non-conforming use. But the two family is going to be deed restricted to only single family.
No, we're going for the detail.
Huh?
We're going for the detail. The expanding.
It'll stay a two-family.
It's staying a two-family.
Oh, okay, I thought we were,
No.
Okay, I'm sorry, well, thank you for correcting me.
That's why we had to change everything.
Okay, all right. So anyway, essentially, things aren't really going to change there on the Zimmerman property. And there's going to be the house up in the back on the 11-acre lot. Again, the Zimmerman home's on a smaller lot, the 1.6-acre lot. Again, this is permitted under the open lands ratio option in the Amwell Valley zone. And then also we're going to have a shared driveway with lot 26.02 rather than creation of a new access driveway cut onto Route 179. So we're not going to need a New Jersey DOT highway access permit, as Eric just talked about, but I guess we have to get a letter of no interest from them. So overall, the minor subdivision plan is compliant. We just really need the D2 variance for the expansion of the non-conforming use for the two-family use, and we need the D5 density variance. So just, so the site's kind of unique. It's separate, it's by itself. Again, it's pretty much surrounded on the north and to the east by the Hunterdon County Fairgrounds. There's preserved land on the other side. So there's pretty much all preserved land all around the property. And then you have the two single-family lots that are there from the previous subdivision. And across Route 179 in West Amwell Township, there's a car dealership, 6 single-family homes on lot sizes of 1 to 3 acres, and the Alexander Creek Park. And the zoning there in West Amwell is the RR5, which is a rural residential central. It's 5-acre lots. permits single-family and farms, and most of the lots there along 179 are undersized, just for some background. And again, we're in the far western corner of the township, and again, we're surrounded by a lot of preserved land, so there really aren't any impacts. So first, I want to make some broader points on the application. I think the overall theme of this application is doing what's right and finishing up a logical and rational subdivision plan that started 25 years ago. And so let me dive into the variances. So the proofs for the D2 and the D5 variances, we need 4 proofs. Again, we have to show meet the special reasons. The use must be particularly suited, although that's not required for the D5, it is for the D2. Again, the use is not going to result in a substantial detriment to the public good, and use will not substantially impair the intent and purpose of the zone plan or the zone ordinance. Now, under the D2 and the D5, we don't need to meet the Medici enhanced proofs that are typically required for a use variance. So let me just go through this. So we have proposed Lot A, which is the Zimmerman lot, 1.6 acres, fronting on 179. It has the two-family dwelling on it, the barns, the shed. Again, there's no site improvements that are proposed on this lot. The lot size complies. The only issue is the two-family residence requires the D2 variance, which is expansion of the non-conforming use. So for the proposed Lot B, which is a new lot, that's 11.03 acre lot with the frontage along 179 that has the common driveway access with the existing lot 26.02. The applicant's proposing a construction of a one-story frame dwelling and an attached 3-car garage, and then that's going to be surrounded by the preserved farmland. Again, the lot size complies on that lot. Oh, 2-car? I'm sorry. 2-car garage. My mistake.
Get the impervious down.
Okay. So for the D2 use variance, to permit expansion of a legally existing non-conforming two-family dwelling, this is the Zimmerman lot. The existing house is a two-family dwelling and only detached. Single-family dwellings and agriculture uses are permitted in the Amwell Valley Zone District, so we need the D2 for that. The D5 variants allow for a density increase for the subdivision. Per the open lands option, it permits a lot size averaging with a minimum lot of 1.5 acres and a maximum density required of 0.15 units per acre. So we have 3 units here on 12.63 acres, and that equals a density of 0.24 units per acre density provided. Again, that exceeds the maximum of 0.15, and we're only exceeding it by 0.09 hundredths units per acre density. And again, density is based on units, it's not based on the number of lots. So it's, again, 3 units because there's the two units in the Zimmerman, the two-family, and then Craig's proposed single-family home is 1 unit. Just so that everyone's clear on that. Okay, so let me jump into the special reasons. Again, that meet the purpose of zoning. Per the MLUL, paragraph E, to promote the establishment of appropriate population densities and concentrations that will contribute to the well-being of persons, neighborhoods, communities, and regions, and preservation of the environment. So why? Well, we meet the lot size requirements of the open lands option for the 2 lots. It's just a density, the 3 dwelling units. and a two-family use that are the issues. The proposed subdivision for the two lots is a consistent land use with the surrounding properties and is a compatible land use. There are really no negative effects on the surrounding properties. Again, the Zimmerman House Lot A is really functionally a two-family dwelling, but it is legally a two-family. I mean, it has single electric meter, internal staircase, son lives upstairs. So I would suggest that we meet the spirit of the ordinance. The home's been there a long time. It's 195 years. It was built in 1830. There's no problems. The site is a former farm, just not farm now. The barns and the silos are still there. And the existing Zimmerman lot will be on a small lot, 1.6 acres, and is a consistent land use with all the surrounding properties and is a compatible land use. Again, there's no negative effects on the surrounding properties. Essentially, all that's changing there is the lot line. I mean, what you see today is what you'll see tomorrow. There's no physical changes, right around the Zimmerman house. Again, this subdivision is a more efficient use of the land by putting unused farmland back into use and providing a single-family residence. The reduction in lot area and density for the existing homes does not result in the loss of reduction or buffers or hedgerows along Route 179, where we have a 300-foot C1 riparian stream corridor buffer. All those hedgerows are essentially remaining. We're not disturbing anything there in the C1 buffer. So another purpose of zoning, paragraph G, to provide sufficient space and appropriate locations for a variety of agricultural, residential, recreational, commercial uses and open space. So this is a completion of the future subdivisions that were anticipated in the past subdivisions approvals for this site back in '99 and 2006. Again, the immediate neighborhood properties across 179 and West Amwell Township are residential. They're 5-acre lots, so we're compatible with the surrounding land uses as to density. Again, the site remains suitable for the use despite the increase in the density sought. Paragraph I of the MLUL, to promote a desirable visual environment through creative development techniques and good civic design arrangements. Well, this is a very creative design solution to provide a 2-acre, a 2-lot subdivision for the Zimmerman family and separate off their home on its own lot. There is one new home that we built and set back far from the road, having a shared driveway, and the remaining lands will be farmed and deed restricted as agriculture. And again, the Zimmerman home's an existing home with just different lot lines. Again, the applicant's going to clean up the site and put the remaining 9.46 deed restricted acres to farming use. Again, this serves the general welfare. The Township's Amwell Valley Zone is to preserve farmland, and that this proposed subdivision is consistent with that intent by farming on the residual land. And also, we've significantly reduced impervious coverage by roughly 1/3 of an acre, essentially 15,600 some square feet, again, removing a lot of the farm pavements around the barn area. Paragraph L of the MLUL, to encourage coordination of the various public-private procedures and activities shaping land development with the view of lessening the cost of such development and to the more efficient use of land. Again, this isn't going to cost the township anything. I would say if the variances aren't granted, you really deny the Zimmermans the ability to implement their retirement plan to sell off the remaining lands on a separate lot, which was the intention 25 years ago with the original subdivision. And just a point I'd like to make, while the county can't make a municipality take action on an application, the previous subdivision put 47 acres of that original parcel in permanent deed restricted open space, which meets the objectives of the Amwell Valley Zone. The county line, which is now the 4-H Fairgrounds, will never be developed as single-family homes. So I think that's got to be considered, and I would suggest that counts for something. So I conclude that the special reasons exist for the grant of these variances. So prong number 2, particularly suited to this particular location. Again, the proposed use promotes the general welfare because the proposed site is clearly and particularly and uniquely suited for the proposed use. Per the courts, for a D5, the property does not need to be particularly suited for more intensive development, as would be required for a D1, but it is required for the D2. So I'll go through the points for the D2. So the site is particularly suited for residential and farm use. Again, it's been a farm there for quite a while, for over 100 years. Single-family and farming are permitted uses in the Amwell Valley Zone. Two-family is one of the issues at hand. Density is the other. The site is unique. Again, the former Zimmerman Farm Complex is separate by itself. Again, there's 3 existing homes, 2 on either side from the original subdivision, and 1 home proposed. The site is really unsuitable for any other permitted or conditional use, maybe other than a residential lot. It's an ideal location for single-family home and farm operations. Again, this site is unique. It's kind of a unique cluster of homes there along 179 in that area. A single family with farming is the only practical use that could be developed here. If this was a larger site or located somewhere else, we probably would not be doing a plan like this. So it's very unique to this particular site and the former Zimmerman Farm. And the uses promote the general welfare because the proposed site is particularly suited for the proposed uses. So I conclude that the site is particularly suited for the proposed use for the grant of this D2 variance. So the negative criteria. Prong 3, the site will not result in substantial detriment to the public good. Again, the detriment has to be substantial. So providing this subdivision at this location is desirable not just for the applicant, but for the community too. The plan has several positives and few negatives. There are no substantial detriments. A non-conforming use, especially one that has existed for a long period of time, will tend to have less impact than a new non-permitted use would, pertaining to the D2 variance. For the D5 negative criteria, the impact of the increase in the density on adjacent properties must not be substantial, and it really isn't. There really aren't any problems. The site is able to accommodate the problems associated with a two-family, such as traffic, parking, infrastructure. There really are no problems. Other than the new home, the site will continue to operate in the same inconspicuous manner in which it operates today. Again, the rural character of this district is going to be maintained and retained. The proposed house is tucked up behind the other house. It's like 450, 500 feet off the road. Again, the Zimmerman house and the new house are compatible land uses. The new house is appropriately placed to the rear of the lot. The remaining lands around the house are going to be deed restricted as agriculture. We're not increasing impervious coverage. We're significantly reducing it by 1/3 of an acre. There's no negative effects on the surrounding properties or the character of the neighborhood. There are quite a number of lots smaller than 10 acres located throughout the township in the Amwell Valley zone. So it's not unusual, and a smaller lot is not unique to this site nor the township in general. Again, adjacent lots 2601 is 1.5 acres and lot 26.02 is 2.5 acres. In fact, there's quite a number of small 1.5 and 2 acre lots in the Amwell Valley zone as I went out and looked around on the New Jersey Geo website. Again, there's no harm created here. The plan demonstrates that having this as a functional home and farm property is a far better zoning alternative. There's no negative impact on the character of the surrounding neighborhood, no negative property value effects, there's no negative traffic effects. The proposed home is using the existing driveway. And again, the shared driveway use is a goal of the 2023 master plan. Again, we don't need any DOT access permit. Again, there's no public safety issues. There's no commercial use of the property. The hedgerows along Route 179 remain. Again, we're in the far western corner of the township with preserved land around. There's no impacts. In essence, there's no negative effect on the surrounding properties or damage to the character of the neighborhood. Again, this is a unique and creative design solution to provide the Zimmermans their own separate lot as anticipated with the previous approvals with Hunterdon County years ago. Again, there's no physical changes to the Zimmerman home. What you see now is what you're going to see later. It's just a lot line change. So to summarize, there's no impact on the increase in density on adjacent properties and no impact with the two-family, which will be deed restrict, which won't be, strike that, sorry. So the Amwell Valley Agricultural District, let me just talk about that for a minute here. So the proposed plan furthers a lot of the purposes of the listed in the Amwell Valley Agricultural District. To encourage land use patterns and development practices which enhance township, county, state efforts to retain farmland and protect and preserve agricultural activity with the township. Again, we're deed restricting those excess lands on Lot B for agriculture. Again, the previous subdivision put 47 acres in permanent deed restricted open space, which is now owned by the county. Two, to protect and promote the continuation of farming in East Amwell Township. Again, we're deed restricting the lands for agriculture. Three, to protect prime soils, prime agricultural soils. Again, the soils are kept in farming. And we have prime agricultural soils there on the site. Four, to permit limited non-farm related residential development in a location and manner that will be consistent with the continuation of farming. Again, the house is tucked in the corner back behind the existing house, and we're preserving the land around it for agriculture. Five, to support the preservation of existing farm operations and limit conflicts between agriculture and non-agricultural uses by encouraging the separation of residential development from active farms. Again, we're deed restricting the excess lands on Lot B for agriculture. To impose lot suitability requirements, and again, Eric's testified that the site, we meet the suitability requirements and the site perks. And to implement the goals of the amended master plan for the Amwell Valley District by protecting agricultural lands and promoting agriculture as a valuable component of the local economy. Again, there will be farming on the deed restricted lands. So let me talk about the open lands ratio zoning option. So we meet the goals and intent of the open lands ratio zoning, which is a zoning, it's a zoning alternative is intended to promote retention of large farm tracts and the aggregation of smaller farm parcels through the granting of density incentives, and to encourage and promote flexibility, economy, environmental soundness, and subdivision and layout design. So I was going to go through all the ordinance requirements, but Eric has done that already, so I won't go back through that again and hit on those because he's already addressed them, but we basically comply with everything in there, and there were like something like 11 points in there, and so we comply with those. So the proposed plan meets a number of the 2006 master plan goals and objectives. So there were vision objectives there, maintaining the community's prevailing agricultural character by promoting the industry of farming and preserving a productive agricultural land base, and conserving community character by carefully managing the scale and intensity of new development and retaining farmland and open spaces, and protecting scenic vistas of rural countryside in the village and hamlets that impart the special character of East Amwell. And then local goals and objectives provide a pattern of growth management that preserves the rural character of the township by balancing the desirable qualities of open space and agricultural activities, and assure that planned development densities and intensities throughout the township can be adequately served by natural infrastructure. Encourage agriculture and land preservation through the use of techniques such as agricultural easements and clustering provisions for housing development. Encourage a harmonious existence between agricultural operations and neighboring non-agricultural development. And provide a variety of housing opportunities to the existing and future residents of the township consistent with the rural setting in which they are located. And we meet all these goals. The proposed plan meets the intent of the 2013 Master Plan Reexamination Report. The plan further states that the intent of the Amwell Valley Zone is to encourage agricultural activity and maintain the rural character of the district, which we achieve. Again, the proposed plan addresses concerns listed in the 2023 Master Plan Reexamination Report. Talks about the continuing pattern of minor frontage subdivision activity throughout the agricultural area. That remains a concern. Well, this is not a frontage subdivision. The proposed home is tucked up behind the other house. It's 50 feet back from the road. And also to develop design standards applicable to major or minor subdivisions in the Amwell Valley Agriculture District to ensure future development is appropriately placed and will enhance or retain the rural character without detracting from the functionality or appearance of the district. Again, we retain the rural character of the district. Again, the new house is tucked up behind the other house. And also the township consider implementing ordinances that support the use of shared driveways rather than the creation of new roads. Again, we're sharing a driveway with the other lot, so we've achieved that goal. Again, we're achieving all these goals without the expenditure of municipal funds. All the above demonstrate that the density of the two-family use would not have a more detrimental effect on the neighborhood than construction of the project in a manner consistent with the zone's use and density restrictions. And we've demonstrated that for the D5 variance, the increase in density would not have a more detrimental effect on the neighborhood than construction of the project in a manner consistent with the zone's densities restrictions. I conclude that this will not result in a substantial detriment to the public good, and the board can grant the D2 and D5 variances. And the last prong, the plan will not substantially impair the intent and purpose of the zone plan in the zoning district. We meet the purposes and requirements of the Amwell Valley Zone, other than the two-family use and the density. Again, we would only need 7.5 acres to comply with the density. We exceed the maximum density of 0.15 units per acre by only 0.09 hundredths. Again, we're going to be at 0.24 units per acre density. And I would say this is a de minimis amount and does not impact the zone plan or the zone ordinance. The Lot B property will be a residential property with farming that supports the Amwell Valley zone purpose and will be consistent with other properties in that zone. Again, the Amwell Valley zone is a huge district, and it covers more than half the township. These two proposed lots are less than 0.25% of the entire Amwell Valley zone. Our plan is not blocking the uses of the underlying zone. The use is permitted. The variance is to allow for a slight density increase in the two-family dwelling. Our plan won't limit the ability of other landowners from using their property as zoned. The use of this site as a two-family dwelling and increased density does not impair the zone plan. So I conclude that there is no impairment, and the board has sufficient proofs to grant the variances. So I think we've demonstrated the site can accommodate the problems associated with the use at a greater density than permitted by the ordinance. There are no problems. And again, the benefits outweigh the detriments. There's many good benefits to this application. There are no problems associated with the higher density or the two-family use. Again, the site's not going to change. Other than the single-family home, it's going to be cleaned up, and the farmland's going to remain. And we request that the board grant the D2 expansion of a non-conforming use and the D5 variances. Thank you.
I have a question. If the two-family home was just a one-family home, would that meet the density requirement?
It would be off by 0.008%.
So that house really, it really isn't going to change, but it's 2 units in it, and that's what kind of makes the density a little bit off.
Correct.
Yes.
I have a question. What is the purpose of the new house?
For me to live in.
Craig's going to live there.
Isn't there presently a house that you live on?
No, not in the property.
There's no house whatsoever on that property?
There's the Zimmerman's house. There's the Zimmerman's house on the
Other than the
12th.
Zimmerman's house,
There's no other house on the property.
so you're going to build a house for yourself on that property?
Correct.
On 11 acres.
On the 11 acres?
Correct.
Real quick, you said there's a couple of things here. It says 3-car garage. I think I heard you say there's only 2-car garage.
2-car, yes.
We reduced it to a
So I saw it
2-car.
several times.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you.
Jim, do you have anything you want to add?
Let me just quickly go over a couple things in my memo. So the D2 variance is an oddity of New Jersey land use law where when you subdivide a lot that has an legally existing non-conforming use, under the Raspberries case, the court said you need a D2 variance for expansion. So the reduction is a proportional reduction of, the land attributed to it. In that case, the court primarily focused on, so it was a residential use in an industrial zone. They were subdividing the property to put the residential use on a lot that didn't conform to the requirements, but to build a conforming non-residential use. So the court said in that case, the example they used is, if you had a factory on a 50-acre site in a neighborhood, if the factory was in the middle of the property, it might not have any impact. But when you reduce the buffers and the open land around it, it could have an impact. So that's really was the court's focus in Raspberries was, is there anything happening with the subdivision? Are we changing buffers? Are we doing anything that's really going to change the impact of that use? The other important thing is, particular to a D2 variance, the courts have said the board should look more liberally on the negative criteria here because it's not an altogether non-permitted use that's new. It's something that's been there for a period of time. It's going to tend to have less impact on the surrounding properties in the zone plan than a new non-permitted use would if you were proposing it. So it's not a full pass, but the suggestion is, let's look a little bit lighter on a D2 variance on the negative.
It's settled in, you're saying?
Essentially, yeah, and I think Mr. Stearns provided testimony that, essentially nothing's physically changing other than the construction of the new dwelling, but that doesn't really impact the D2 variance in any way. The D5 density variance, really the standard on this is, can the site accommodate the problems associated with an increase in density? So, it was a good question because it was something I was here punching the numbers into my calculator saying, well, what if it was a single family and a single family? It's right there, right? And this D2 kind of came in late. I think it was discussed previously, but it wasn't really formulated into, we need a D2 variance here because we have this existing non-conforming use. But as long as the board is satisfied that the increase in density isn't going to cause any substantial issues, then that relief can be granted. So Mr. Stearns has presented you with extensive testimony to consider relative to the criteria. It's your job to judge that against the standard. I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have, particular to anything that you heard versus how we have to judge this, relative to the variances. The only other thing I want to remind is these are both D variances, so they require 5 affirmative votes, both of them, in order to be approved.
And a procedural question, we'll take the 2 variances one by one.
Let me get that. But it's good. Board have any questions? Mr. Stern, Mr. Kyle? And then Rob, if you have anything you want to weigh in on. But you look at the question.
It's my recollection that we've heard a lot of testimony from neighbors and whatnot at previous hearings, did we not?
No.
Well, we will at some point open to the public, but my recollection is we did not. That was we had 2 hearings that were going at the same time, and we kept going one meeting, and they, at some point.
And I may be confusing them, and that's what I'm trying to get.
I have been, yes, there we heard neighbors, and there we did hear something, and yes, you're correct, but I don't recall any ever hearing, but we will open to the public, and if there are neighbors who have positives or negatives, we will hear from them.
I understand that, but my question is that previously, previous on all of the various hearings that we have had on this matter, and we've had many, we've had a number of them, is my recollection, that we've never had any complaints from, we never had any public complaints from neighbors or anyone objecting to this.
Not to my knowledge. No.
Then I am confusing application.
Fair enough, though. Okay. Anyone else? Mr. O'Brien, do you have anything?
No.
Okay. May I have a motion to open to the public for questions of these witnesses? And Mr. Mattis, Mr. Stearns, Mrs. Zimmerman have all testified, and Mr. Rupnarian?
Rupnarian.
I keep thinking, I'm sorry, can I just call you Eric? Because I really can do that.
That is perfectly fine.
Okay. Any questions of the 4? May I have a motion to open to the public?
Second.
Without objection, we are open to the public for questions of all 4 of these witnesses.
And do we have a time limit?
Yes, thank you. Let me remind everyone that we do have a time limit, 5 minutes per person for questions. And that does not, we will also have open time when you're not asking questions. But at this point, if you're asking questions of witnesses, 5 minutes per person and only questions related to their testimony. Thank you. Anybody? Seeing no one, we are close to the public. Okay.
Shall we open for general questions?
Let's, is that? Yeah, we can. I want to see if the board has anything else. Do you have anything before I open the public comment at this time? Okay, I have a motion to open back up for public comment. Without objection, we are open to the public for public comment. Do you have anything you want? Come on up.
So if we can ask you guys to, or one of you move back so we can just get them on
I
the
could
mic.
just put that here, couldn't I?
Yeah.
If it reaches.
What's that? Haven't seen it in a long time.
Good to see you.
You too.
Don Riley, 30 Hart Lane, Ringgoes. I was on the planning board 20 years ago when this originally came.
Can we swear you in since it sounds like...
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Please swear that the testimony that you're about to give this board is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. I will say it's hard to hear you guys back there.
And just can you repeat your name?
Don Riley. Yeah, once again, it's hard if you're not speaking into the mics.
You gotta remind us.
Yeah, okay, good. Anyway, I was on the planning board 20 years ago when this originally came before us, and I know that the circumstances that you're looking at today, very different than that, so I recognize all of that. But we came to the conclusion that there was no significant negative impact to the township. Matter of fact, we felt that there was a positive by granting one additional building lot here. So I would argue that, based on a testimony I heard here tonight, that you can come to the same conclusion in granting these variances. I think it's a positive to the township, not a negative. And while, you can come up and argue the fact that, geez, it would be nice if, all of that doesn't matter, because you're looking at very different situation here. But once again, I think you've heard plenty of testimony to support the variances that have been proposed. So I would urge you to do so.
See you, Tom.
Anyone else from the public? Come on up.
It's not about this particular variance. Could I have a question about a different one? Or does that have to be later?
Not this application?
No, not this application at all.
We will have time at the end of the meeting where
Okay.
we'll open back up for anything and everything, or almost anything and everything. Anyone else? Anyone else about this particular application? Come on up.
Hard to say. My name is Steve Mattis, Craig's dad. Sorry.
Swear that the testimony that you're about to give before this board is truth, whole truth, but nothing but the truth?
Absolutely. Steve Mattis, Craig's dad. I've been on this journey with him for like 4 or 5 years now. As he's testified tonight, all he wants to do is build a home, farm it, and raise my 3 beautiful grandkids in a farm environment. Thank you.
Anyone else? Come on up. Your name, please.
Tom Stover.
Swear that the testimony that you're about to give before this board is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. I live in West End on Gulick Road, across the street from this, and I see this as a plus. I know the Mattises, good people we want in our community to help us out whenever we're in a jam. So, and then again, the kids get to farm and do what this town was designed to do. Thank you.
Anyone else? Going once, going twice? Okay, seeing no one else, without objection, we are closed to the public. Anything you want to add, Mr. O'Brien, Mr. Kyle? Anything, Mr. Mattis, you have anything else you want to add?
Here, Tom, let's put this back here. Sorry. No, it's okay.
What are you doing here?
You're not required.
Well, like my dad said, it's been a very long journey. We've designed and redesigned and went down numerous wrong paths. When this was first presented to me, it looked pretty cut and dry. I looked at a deed from Mr. Zimmerman, which basically said lands remaining of this lot. He had a survey that showed lands remaining, and that lot was actually like a 6-acre lot. And then it came to the point where it was almost about 1.5 years of trying to figure out why this lot actually doesn't exist, to getting into resolutions, and then thinking that, all we had to do was go before planning board. to numerous revisions, and it's been nothing but a learning curve for me the whole way. So basically tonight, I'm just asking if the board could find it to grant the 2 variances. Thank you.
Thank you. If you don't mind, I'm going to just ask for a motion, and then we can address. And then once we have the motions on the table, we can take them individually if you'd like, and we can discuss them and then take votes. Let me ask for a motion.
Sure.
We're going to start with the D. We have 3, is it 3 motions we would need?
You have a D2 variance and a D5 variance.
But also the subdivision.
And a minor subdivision.
So I'll move that we approve the D2 variance.
Okay.
Which is to allow for the non-conforming use, expansion of the non-conforming use of the 2-family house currently on the property.
I second.
So before we can vote, anyone have any comments on that? Anyone have any questions remaining? Okay. Will you take the roll, please?
Mr. Catanacci?
Not sure what I'm voting on right now.
Okay.
So you're taking each a request for relief individually. So this is on the D2 expansion of a previously existing non-conforming use.
The 2-family house.
Variance for the 2-family house.
Yeah. But they can,
This is the 2-family house.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Ms. Deadweiler?
Yes.
Mr. Kadri?
Yes.
Mr. Kohat?
Yes.
Mr. Latham?
Yes.
Mr. McGovern?
Yes.
Ms. Wiggum?
Yes.
Okay. Motion is adopted. Okay. May I have a motion to approve the D5 variance?
I move that we approve the D5 variance.
Second?
The density variance.
Density variance.
Second.
Mr. Catanacci?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
And my only question is in terms of a precedent.
Yeah.
I'm very concerned about the precedent.
Yeah.
And the precedent simply being that we're basically allowing something in it. And maybe we've already done that with respect to the previous motion.
I feel like there are so many special reasons, like so many unique circumstances in this case, that you're not really setting a precedent because nobody can come do it. Exactly.
Make that one a
And but before that was the issue.
Okay, let me ask our counsel. I know Colin's correct, that we're not setting any precedent.
I don't think you are, because each property is unique, and this property's got, I think the board can find that there's unique characteristics with respect to this property. You've got this preserved piece, I don't think you have anything like that in the township, surrounded by other preserved pieces, and I think,
And I will add, just while we're here, and the unique history. Whether we're not bound by that unique history, the record is very thick that there was an intention to allow this subdivision. I can't imagine anything coming up like this again. I feel like we have an opportunity to kind of clean it up.
Thank you. Thank you, counsel. Yes.
Yes. Ms. Deadweiler?
Yes.
Mr. Kadri?
Yes.
Mr. Kohat?
Yes.
Mr. Latham?
Yes.
Mr. McGovern?
Yes.
Ms. Wiggum?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was literally thinking to the next motion already. Yes.
Sorry. You said yes.
So-
approve the minor subdivision.
Yes, but I wanted to ask you before we do that, are there conditions that we need to put on the record? There obviously are the outside approvals. The one thing I wanted to make sure that this has come up before is when we have a shared driveway, do we need to have any sort of
Driveway agreement.
some sort of driveway
Should
agreement?
be a
We don't-
driveway.
And then I think the deed restriction, the agreed upon deed restriction, to me is important to have that as a condition of approval. You mentioned no weddings. I'm all for, you know.
Well, you had asked last time,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
that barn came up again, and I kind of figured that was,
Yes, so I would,
Yeah.
you know, if we're allowed to, I'd like to put that in the condition.
He's willing to do it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, you can't-
Yeah, no, he offered. And- Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I am on that one. If the board's with me on that one, I don't want to dictate.
Yeah, I mean, all the items that were listed in both the planning and the engineering report, that's all conditions of approval.
Okay.
Boilerplate, okay, all these and such, and then you have to submit copies of your subdivision here. So to create the subdivision, you're going to be filing deeds, right? It's not going to be done by map. So the deeds will have to be approved by the engineer or my office before they're recorded and have to be stamped. So that'll all be in the resolution.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the deed for both lots will have to have a restriction on any further subdivision
Yeah.
and the other requirements in the open lands zoning. So Sharon can review that and Rob and I can review. Rob had some comments that have to be addressed.
Okay.
There's some minor plan revisions needed.
Are there any other easements, conservation easements of any kind being dedicated to the town for anything on this property? No?
All the constrained land is on the county property,
Okay, so
the
there's
stream
nothing-
buffer, the right, no, I don't,
So then that's
Right
not
there.
necessary, right?
Part of the C1 buffer does extend into this property, but it extends into the area that's already actively cultivated.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we had them all.
Does the driveway agreement cover the fact that might be need to be an easement as far as the deed going out?
Well, there should be a shared driveway agreement that's recorded between the two property owners. And, I mean, I would make that a condition of approval.
The only other thing I wanted to mention, it's not a condition of approval, just for Mr. Mattis's benefit. I think the township has a residential development fee on new single-family homes for affordable housing fee, so just be aware that that would be something eventually. Typically what you do is go in and fill out a form. At the time you're seeking a building permit, you pay half the fee up front, and then before you get your CO, you pay the other half. I think it's 1.5%.
Based on square footage, right?
I'm not sure what the township's.
I don't know what it is either, but.
Construction cost.
But be prepared to spend money.
I mean, it's not great. I just want you to be aware of it, because a lot of people aren't, so I didn't want you to be surprised. It's not a condition of the board's approval, it's an ordinance requirement that's unrelated, but still something that you have to address. So.
Okay, so with that, may I have a motion to approve the subdivision with all of the conditions we've discussed, including the deed restrictions, the shared driveway plan, everything, all of the reasons. May I have a motion to approve? Making a motion, can I have a second? Okay.
Mr. Kennet?
Yes.
Ms. Deadweiler?
Yes.
Mr. Kadri?
Yes.
Mr. Kohut?
Yes.
Mr. Latham?
Yes.
Mr. McGovern?
Yes.
Ms. Wiggum?
Yes.
Motion adopted. Approved, all three of them.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We don't have much left, guys.
I would have.
Somebody shows up late.
Tell them all. Yeah, Mr. Maddox.
I was gonna say, as much as I've read into your codes and ordinances.
You know this goes too loud.
Yeah. I was gonna say, it's
That's not in the official minutes.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Okay. The correspondence is done. Oh, just real quickly, 2026 meeting schedule. We have it all set. The only thing we have is that the December meeting is like the month.
21st.
Celebrate, yes. Yeah, I don't like doing that. I should. Karen's coming in, she's banging the gavel.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, so first we're going to get back to Mondays. Third Monday of every month except for January and February. That were the holidays. And then in December, that third Monday is like the 21st. It's the 21st. And so it's kind of hanging out there. And I want to put out to our professionals that we do not have to make a decision today, but we do need to meet on next month. Can we do it the second Monday in December? Can we do it on a Tuesday? Just, no one's going to want to do that Monday. So if you can't tell me now, if you just let us know before January, and maybe circulating a request for that.
Wait, I'm sorry, you said we're going back to
Monday,
third Monday.
third Monday.
But December is going to be accepted.
Because it's like, it's Christmas week, and Monday, people are going to be checking out. I'm probably going to be in India, so, yeah.
So it would be the 14th then?
Yeah.
I have another meeting that night. So
Okay.
it depends on if I have an application or not.
Yeah, okay.
So
What about that Tuesday?
the 15th,
Yeah.
that's open.
How about you, Jim? Do you know
That was
yet?
our other meeting, yeah.
I mean, that's
was our
this year regular meeting.
Yeah,
So
so-
that's fine, yeah, that
Can we make it the?
Yeah, 15th? 15th.
15th.
December 15th.
December 15th? Everybody good with that?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, December 15th, 2026. Okay, so then, you write that on here, this is the calendar. When we, at reorg in January, this was to be the date schedule we will adopt.
And I'll share it with
And
Linda.
share it with everybody, okay. Thank you.
And the other days, Jim, that are different are the January and February, so look at those dates.
Wait, January 20, so we're gonna do,
January 26th is still.
January 20th and February 17th.
okay.
Because it's a holiday.
Oh, the 19th is a holiday, right?
Yes, it's Martin Luther King, it's President's Day, Martin Luther King's Day. Yes.
I just wanted to come there.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate you doing that. And then we will open to the public after that. You good on the calendar now? We're good. Okay. May I have a motion to open to the public for item, for anything, almost anything and everything? Without objection, we are open to the public.
Come on down.
You are the last contestant.
Hi, my name is Carmine DiFrancesco. That's my wife Mary.
Hi.
We own 45 Dutch Lane, and my question is about the solar farm.
Okay.
Now, I only just found out about it yesterday.
Okay.
So I have two questions. The first one is, I share a very large property line with this proposed project.
Yeah.
I was not notified. Isn't that,
No,
is
so
that
we,
supposed to happen?
so that hearing is not here. You will be notified. Tonight, we agreed that the application will be deemed complete, and we will schedule that application to be heard next year. I would guess it will be in February, and you will get a certified mail, correct? Correct. Correct.
Well, it's a minor site plan. Do they have to notify a minor site plan is that an
Oh,
ordinance requirement?
actually, that's a good question, yeah, because there's no use variance relief associated with it.
There's no variance relief, and then it's not, unless the town's ordinance requires notification, then they're not for a minor if they're fully conforming.
So, you know what I would do, just in case, just email the secretary. We post all our agendas online, so you'll be able to see when it's listed. It's Energy Sun Farms. We would anticipate it to be at the February regular meeting,
Okay.
just in case, because I'm not, I mean, I can look real quick.
It's February 17th.
Yeah,
we did have
It will say what's the subject's going to be?
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
all, yep. all of our-
If they're requesting any waivers or anything, like design waivers, then they should notice for that.
So
because-
this is a solar farm, so it's still considered a farm and not industrial?
Agricultural, right?
They're going to be
Agricultural, not
growing
industrial.
crops
Yeah,
underneath the solar
But
panel.
the panels are high.
Yeah.
The panels are high, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my question's about water. I guess this is not the time to ask, 'cause-
No, but there will be an opportunity for you to ask. I do want to, it makes me uncomfortable that we don't have to notice. I mean, again, it's law, I don't get to make those decisions, but
I'll look and.
you'll look into it,
And
yeah.
make sure, but.
Just keep your eye on the website, just go there.
Okay, so February 17th. just
Yeah,
show
so,
up.
and just so you know, we will publish all of our meeting dates,
Okay.
and they're on our website, and we publish our agendas. So now that it's on your radar screen,
Right.
or radar screen, on your radar.
Could be a screen.
Just keep an eye, but that's, as of now, that's when I expect it to be here. Not in January, but February will be the first opportunity.
And we post on the website all the plans. You'll see reports from Rob and I on there, so our professional reviews. So you'll be able to look at all that information before the meeting date, just to see what the comments are, what the issues are, and it'll be a summary of the application, things like that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and there's actually plans out there now.
Yeah, I have them, but my question is not
Okay,
answered.
that's fair enough, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, so you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? There's nobody else for the public, so without objection, we are closed to the public. We have a motion to adjourn. All in favor? We are adjourned. Happy to see you in 2026.
Yes.
Katie, can you get us off the air?
Happy holidays, New Year, Merry Christmas.